What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Dermy Wormy, and Willow was a show that existed, I guess. I can't constantly forget that this was actually a Disney Plus show. I'm 100% not lying. I forgot that this show existed. I think it was every other week, I would end up tuning into maybe it was Critical Drinkers open bar, and every so often they'd have Disparu on, and he'd mention the show, and I completely forgot it happened. Didn't remember it, didn't even think about it. Well, yeah, it's sitting at critics loved it. Let's be real with the audiences. But now we're getting something interesting. Willow will not return for season 2 at Disney Plus. The Willow TV series is done after just one season at Disney Plus, Variety has confirmed. The news comes around 2 months after the high fantasy series aired its 8th and final episode, with the show having debuted in November 2020 and airing until January 2023. It was so bad that it only stuck around for 2 months. Till they said, nah, we can't continue this. This is too awful of a show. I'm not kidding you. I keep forgetting the show happened. I didn't watch it, had no interest in it, never saw the original Willow. I just heard nothing but bad things. And then immediately after hearing those bad things, I'm like, wait, what happened? Oh, there's a new Lucasfilm show that's a fantasy thing that I have no interest in. Okay, moving on. I had friends, though, that were interested, actually liked the Willow movie. They were interested in the show. They watched, I believe, the first episode. Shout out to Jed, Hollywood Scholar, and Adam, the Renaissance Nerd. I believe they watched the first episode, and they said they're out. They didn't like it. They didn't want anything to do with it. Everybody else can interact with it. They're refusing to watch it. I've heard nothing but they just hated it. People hated this show. And yeah, as of right now on Rotten Tomatoes, average audience score, oh, it's pretty decent. I have a theory, though, and we'll get into that. The series received mostly positive reviews from critics, with the first season holding an 83% critical approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. In his review for Variety, Joshua Alston wrote that the show's perfect balance of reverence and irreverence is what immediately captures Willow to the upper echelon of Disney Plus series. Well, in reality, Willow had the worst ratings for any D Plus show. So yes, hey, audiences might, the average audience score might say, hey, it was pretty good. But that's because nobody watched it. Nobody interacted with it. They would rather watch Disparu roast the show. They would rather watch Shad and Brooks. Shout out to Shadiversity. They roasted it. They would rather watch everybody else roast the show than actually watch it themselves, which is a ongoing trend in YouTube and other sources of media. Hey, I also did all of Velma if you guys want to check those out. But more people are coming to YouTubers because of their honesty, because of their integrity, and to be fair, they're watching it so that you don't have to. These shows are so awful, people believe that you don't need to sit down and watch them. Let us suffer for you. And 9 times out of 10, we're pretty accurate on how awful these shows are. So there's sometimes where we disagree, but let's get into this. Now, this again comes from Samba TV. Samba TV, like I said in yesterday's video about, let's see, it was Mandalorian. Samba TV and like the Nielsen ratings, they can only come from, when it comes to streaming, they can only come from TVs that have the Samba or Nielsen apps in them. So Roku devices, smart TVs, things of that nature, they're kind of already in there, but they don't track PCs, they don't track Xbox, they don't track your phone, things of that. So it's imperfect, but the best we're probably going to get. That being said, the first week First 5 days of Willow and only saw 481,000 views. Nobody was watching the show. Nobody was interacting with the show. Well, to be fair, people were interacting with it. They were watching other people roast it, watching other people critique it, watching other people suffer so that they didn't have to. And when you look at the numbers, since Samba TV has been releasing numbers, Willow marks the lowest rating for a show on Disney Plus, much lower than Miss Marvel at 77,000 households. Nobody watched Miss Marvel, by the way. And lower than She-Hulk. She-Hulk was an absolute disaster of a show. God, that thing ultimately panned out to be nothing. When you compare it to what was coming out from Disney Plus, we just did this recently with Mando. It's less than almost everything Disney Plus put out. All of the rest of Lucasfilm's stuff was higher. That includes, I believe, Andor. I believe Andor is technically higher up in views than Willow. I said Widow wrong. This was a disaster. And when it comes to the initial Rotten Tomatoes reviews, nobody was actually liking it. So when you come over to they'll pull up Rotten Tomatoes now. I believe 1, probably deleted some stuff. 2, probably got reviewed, bombed positively. 3, ultimately the people that actually cared left, quit interacting with it. So then the new people came around and started reviewing it. So yes, it averages out to a positive review when in reality, nobody was there. There was no eyes on this show. Now, yes, this is also going to something that Bob Iger has recently said, where they're going to start cutting back on some of the content, start changing some stuff around, doing stuff here or there, making less stuff, promoting more of their newer stuff, but doing less things because they have to. Disney is running out of money. They cannot afford dumb shows like this. They cannot afford crappy remakes. They're going to keep doing it. They're going to keep pushing their ideology, but ultimately they're losing money. This is a bad thing. This isn't good. Well, it's good for us. This is bad for Disney. This shows that, hey, even they are having to start cutting back. This company that keeps saying, oh no, we're fine, canceled a show. We're perfectly fine, guys. We're perfectly fine. We're still letting all this other uber woke stuff, but this show that nobody watched to buy, they can't do anything with it, so they're going to cut it out. Probably the smart move. One of the few smart moves they have. They still have a buttload of other stuff that's coming down the pipeline that they should get rid of. Hi, Little Mermaid. Oh, God, there's other Disney shows. This just shows you that even Disney's finally having to cancel some stuff. They're not going to change anytime soon. They're going to keep going down this path as much as possible. Bob Iger is going to champion this path. Again, we go back to some of his comments made recently where he even said, hey, we need to start pushing the newer stuff, our new stuff. But they're going to have to start canceling shows. They have zero money. They have no way to market these things. Disney Plus isn't actually producing any money. They're actually still negative. The Fox deal hasn't even produced any money. You have the DeSantis thing down in Florida, the DeSantis element, which radically actually starts to hinder Disney because of the taxes, because of the changes that are going to have to happen, because they're not going to be able to make and build something on a whim. They're going to have to get approval. Won't hurt them that much, but it still hurts them. These small cuts are showing that Disney is no longer the behemoth that it once was. Just wait, though. When you ultimately think about this interaction with Lucasfilm, how Star Wars isn't in a place right now. Mandalorian opening week, awful numbers. Star Wars is basically a dead brand in my opinion. I think it is 100% dead. When you look at everything else Disney has under their umbrella, it's slowly starting to wane away. But that's just my opinion on all this. Honestly, partially facts, but that's what I see. But let me get your guys' thoughts down in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it out with friends, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video and go live, guys. And I will see you guys on the next one. Bye for now.